the interest of the common man also, which they have ignored. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I will limit myself to comments from banking and insurance sector. Few points which have probably positive is from Federation also we have given several recommendations to extend the ECLGS scheme to March 2023, which has been accepted. Same thing is regarding the CGT MSME also. The extra fund has been provided by the Finance Minister. Now, another thing is the Finance Minister has taken a very bold steps in keeping the deficit financing at little higher by providing a lot of and covering a lot of other areas for spending. So she is not afraid of extending the budget by providing support to the several sectors. She is not even afraid of slightly higher deficit financing, which is probably very, what you call it, in international financing is very core sector. But I must thank her for not afraid of extending the expenditure. Because by deficit financing, providing extra finances, only growth can be sustained. For MSME, one step she has taken is providing the extra fund under this thing. And there is a problem which MSME is facing is getting the finances. So for central government and state government undertaking, she has adopted another system of e-bill, where you can submit the e-bills and get the immediate finances. And she has also strengthened the facilities and council also, where MSME gets smart and immediate payments. One thing which I would like to add from my side is, now is a regime of lower interest rate, but many of the private banks are not passing on the lower interest rate to the customers. So there is another big issue which, of course, PSUs are transferring, but not the private banks. So something has to be done on that. Now, last point is, now internationally advanced economy are tightening the liquidity, like USA and other things. But I'm sure that the government will not succumb to the pressure, and RBI will also not forego their liquidity position and will not increase the rate of interest, which will be probably counterproductive as far as MSME and other things are concerned. This is my view from banking sector. Thank you.
Please. If you have anybody has any question,
Good
you can
afternoon. Regarding the non-extension of some concessions to the common man, it is true. But the silver lining is the government has reduced the surcharge for the corporates from 12% to 7%. It will encourage the big corporates to invest in the infrastructure and other industrial projects, which will be beneficial to the country and will be providing more jobs. To take note of this, the stock market has given a thumbs up of 1,000 points, which is a big jump. That is a very positive. Maybe this concession what expected due to some elections are pending in the 5 states and all due to a model code of conduct, they might have not have given. And other things, the expert of GST and direct taxes has already spoken. Thank you.
No, if anybody has any questions, you all can ask, but also if anybody from you all would like to throw a light on digital currency that's going to be introduced in the year 2022-23. So maybe
it's
somebody...
A good move. Yeah, I think
it is a good move, and it will check that cryptocurrency menace and all to just to congratulate.
Yeah, I mean, government has probably wantedly avoided the cryptocurrency season, so they allowed RBI to bring their digital currency. And as far as current cryptocurrency is there, they brought in the taxation. It will be taxed, any income will be taxed as a 30%. And any transfer of assets, there will be TDS. So whatever, as of now, cryptocurrency is going probably not noticed also, not accounted for also. Now henceforth it will be all accounted for and it will be taxes. And good thing is that government wants to bring their own digital currency by RBI. It's absolutely good move.
cryptocurrencies was leading to some grey dealings in the drugs and other terrorism activities. Our own this digital rupee will be like a parallel to the cryptocurrency. Thank you.
1.5 lakh post offices will be brought under core banking. That's also
And
a good one. Good
one more thing, 75% of payment MSME units or anything is there, they have to pay within 10 days. There is a, for MSME units purpose, it's a very good news. And end-to-end eligibility also will help us, all MSME units. And postal also is there. One more bad news is there is no increase of income tax, personal or whatever it is there, minimum. Day by day, all the prices are increasing, but this tax sector, who is having 5 lakhs rupees exemption, it is same continue. We are expected 8 lakhs rupees, but it is not yet done. Maybe another, but it is very, very important to the all medium class public. Everything is there. Thank you.
Any questions that you all have? Anybody has? You have a question? Please come here, ma'am.
Mr. Bhaskar Reddy can answer
Any-
this. Yeah. Is he there? I'm sorry.
Any questions, sir?
Yeah. I just wanted to know that the government has given impetus to job creation. They said 5 million jobs through, although the economic conditions have improved, India has not gone back to the employment levels post-pandemic. Do you think the impetus given in the budget would really help us to get back?
If they give really new jobs, it is a help to the very good.
No, but is there an opportunity to create those kind of jobs?
Yeah, capex. They have increased the capex, investment capex, and infrastructure boost. All this will create jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 million jobs, of course, is a long-term objective. We're talking about a couple of years down the line, but infrastructure spending plus increase of customs duties on some materials which will boost Indian industry, basically MSMEs, which are the maximum job creation. And then we also have this PLI scheme extensions for solar PV panels, and a few other points will actually boost some kind of job creation. Whether it is translate to 50 lakh jobs or not within the next 1 year is a question mark. But yes, it will definitely boost job creation.
Okay. Just one more question. There is, economists were afraid of this hardening inflation and oil prices, which have been a matter of concern. Do you think we would be able to overcome this with the kind of budget presented by the finance minister?
See, this is a double-edged sword. Look at it this way. This is not such a high growth-oriented budget, so I don't expect inflation. They're trying to compromise growth with inflation. Inflation is going up, especially last 3-4 months, and with the oil prices going up, we expect inflation to move up. Unfortunately, they couldn't do much on the income tax thing. But they have sacrificed growth to control inflation is what my saying. I don't know how much will that translate to controlling inflation, but it is not a high growth-oriented budget, barring a few parameter infrastructure spending and a few other places. So I think inflation can be controlled, and that's probably the push from RBI to the government.
Thank you.
Can I reply to that?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's a good question to be asked. You see, there is always a growth versus inflation. You see, in a developing economy, inflation is always acceptable limit. And you cannot compromise the growth. Unless the growth is there, you can't control the inflation also. In India, inflation is mostly a supply chain problem, which is probably, I have been mentioning for the last 2 years, and RBI has now finally accepted. This is basically the problem of supply chain problem. And monetary policy cannot, control this sort of inflation because it's a supply related problem, not the liquidity driven. Liquidity has helped the growth. Liquidity has definitely helped the growth, and the government is still pursuing that policy of providing the finances, spending money. Unless you spend the money, where from the growth will come? And now coming back to the employment generation, you see, when there is expenditure is there, public sector is there, infrastructure is there, industries are growing. This all lead to the employment. If you link the employment only in the government jobs, probably I am not agreeing on that point of view, because there is always hue and cry. Where is the employment? Employment is not on the government job. we should not think from the government point of view only, that you apply in the government job and you get employment. Employment, see, when the industry is growing, 9.5% is the manufacturing sector is growing, infrastructure is developing, then they are all creating jobs. They are all creating jobs. And it has to be growth oriented. It is a growth oriented budget. Thank you. If I differ with somebody, I beg a pardon.
Just one last question. If the industry body could tell, there was an expectation of reduction on excise duty in petrol and diesel, because that has a cascading effect. So would that create any impact?
Reduction
There
of
was an
excise duty on
expectation, but
petrol-
it didn't happen.
Sorry? Yeah,
There was an
reduction of excise duty on petrol and coming into the GST portal has already been discussed in GST Council, and many of the states are not agreeing. So it is a very sort of a debatable question is there, which overall is to be taken by the government and state government. Central government alone cannot take decision on that.
We also, Mr. Lakshminivas Sharma, would you like to add some inputs on the taxation, direct tax? Any view that you would like to share? Can you all move the, or probably you can just come.
I'll stand here and
Yeah,
speak.
maybe you'll have to face them.
Yeah. In fact, as it is stated that income tax, there is nothing which they have been brought, except certain surcharge which has been reduced for the cooperative societies also, and at the same time on the corporate law also the surcharge and education cess has been slightly reduced. And this will not, in fact, give any benefit to the common man. The common man, they should have either increased the limit of the deduction which is available, or they should have given certain benefit to the members in the exempt income. And you know that there are many things. Rather, I'll tell you one more thing, which nobody has bothered about it. If the company's tax is now 22%, why the partnership firm should be taxed at 30%? Because after all, the business which is done either as a form of company or as a partnership, and there also the salary and other thing is paid, is allowed, interest is allowed. Here also the same thing with restriction allowed. Even in the partnership there is a restriction and it is allowed. But they should have done something for the partnership firm, because lot of people are having a partnership business which has not been done. In fact, as the budget is concerned, as it has been stated, definitely they have focused on infrastructure, they have focused on the rural development, they have definitely focused on certain other aspects where the promotion of the production and incentive which can be given, those all things have been taken. However, the budget could not address to the common man. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Yeram Raju and Mr. Jajan also wanted to speak. So please come and you can, the camera is here.
Hello.
సస్టైనబిలిటీ, ఇంక్లూజివిటీ అనేటువంటి రెండు పదాలు మాత్రం ఇందులో వచ్చాయి. అయితే సస్టైనబిలిటీకి సరి అయినటువంటి ప్రాతిపదిక ఇచ్చారు, కానీ ఇంక్లూజివిటీకి మాత్రం ఏ ప్రాతిపదిక ఇవ్వలేదు. అంటే ఏంటంటే కామన్ మ్యాన్కి, పూర్ మ్యాన్కి ఏ విధమైనటువంటి రిలీఫ్స్ ఇందులో మనకేం కనిపించలేదు. వ్యవసాయము, తర్వాత సూక్ష్మ చిన్న తరహా పరిశ్రమలకి ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఊతం కూడా నామమాత్రంగానే ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే డిజిటల్ అగ్రికల్చర్కి ఇచ్చారు, చాలా మంచి విషయం మనం ఇందులో గమనిస్తాం. అయితే కొంత ఎంఎస్పీకి మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళు ఈ వ్యవసాయదారులను కొంచెం శాంతపరచడానికి ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ అవుట్లే ఇచ్చారు. కానీ వ్యవసాయదారులకి నిజంగా ముందరికి వెళ్ళడానికి కావలసినటువంటివి ఒకటి సాయిల్ ఫెర్టిలిటీ ఇంప్రూవ్ చేయడానికి, క్రాప్ చేంజెస్ తీసుకురావడానికి, ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఫార్మ్ టెక్నిక్స్ తీసుకురావడానికి, క్రాస్ హోల్డింగ్ ఆఫ్ రిస్క్స్ చేయడానికి, డిజాస్టర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్కి సరైనటువంటి సపోర్ట్ ఇవ్వడానికి, ఇటువంటి విషయాలేవి కూడా వ్యవసాయదారులకు ఇందులో కనిపించలేదు. ఈ విధమైనటువంటి కొంత నిరుత్సాహకరంగా ఉన్నటువంటి బడ్జెట్ అని చెప్పాలి. అయితే ఇందులో ముఖ్యంగా మనం గమనించవలసింది ఏంటంటే ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్కి పెద్ద పీట వేశారు. ఈ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్కి పెద్ద పీట వేయడం వల్ల ఉద్యోగాలకి ఎక్కువ అవకాశం కలుగుతుంది. ప్రైవేట్ సెక్టార్లోనే ఉద్యోగాలకి అవకాశం కలుగుతుంది. అవి ఎంతవరకు సస్టైనబుల్గా ఉంటాయి అన్నటువంటిది మాత్రం ఒక సందేహాస్పదం. ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ అంటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే ఉద్యోగం తీసేయచ్చు, అంతేగాని ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయినప్పటికీ కూడా ఉద్యోగం నిలకడగా ఉంటుందా అంటే దాని మీద సందేహాలు ఉంటాయి. అలాగే సోషల్ సెక్యూరిటీ కూడా దాని మీద సందేహం చాలా కలుగుతుంది. ఈ విధమైనటువంటి ఒక మిక్స్డ్ రియాక్షన్ అనే చెప్పాలి బడ్జెట్కి. ఈ అవకాశాన్ని కల్పించినందుకు కృతజ్ఞతలు.